In his first encyclical, Pope Leo focused on safeguarding the human person in the time of artificial intelligence. Now, the media picked up on it and highlighted his comments as AI as it being a holy matter, and also suggests that Pope Leo said AI must be disarmed. Of course, this puts the Holy See smack dab in the middle of a battle that's been tearing at the edges of society, but one day it could actually pull us all apart. We're bringing out Culture Plus Group CEO and co-founder Lili Gil, and we were just talking during a break. It's already impacting business owners and people. Just how much of his concerns do you think are valid?
I think he has valid concerns because beyond the technology itself, is changing the fabric of how we look at jobs, how we look at our ethics, our values, how we produce. It's not just an industrial revolution that, like back in the day, it impacted manual labor. This is impacting cognitive labor and the way we think about humans. Are we disposable now all of a sudden because machines are more powerful? Right.
Underlying narratives, transhumanism and post-humanism, right? And this was really intriguing stuff, right? So again, with respect to the post-humanism or transhumanism, biomedicine, body engineering, devices, algorithms, all to increase performance and capabilities. But post-humanism is a radical form, he says, that, challenges the sort of the hibernation of human beings. And this has been a worry and concern of people for a long time. Just thinking how fast this has moved, it should be a legitimate concern, but how do you stop it?
I don't think you can stop it. And we can play two sides of the camp here. Is like, do we need a strict regulation? That there's so many bills right now that are trying to control AI. You can't control the pace of innovation and the machines moving so fast, so much quicker than we can pass a bill. But definitely there is an interdisciplinary approach that we need to take. It includes governments, private sector, even schools in the way we train our kids, and at home. Right. What role does AI and technology play for our kids? And at the end of the day, Charles, the humanity, the empathy, the values-based, foundation that we have in our families is what's going to keep it.
All right, so but you did write that there's a structural sort of repricing, even the elimination of jobs. We could see that in just, ironically enough, in tech alone.
Yeah, I know.
The biggest, hottest stocks in the tech market have laid off the most people. So again, this is a tough one.
Exactly, and even JP Morgan is saying that they're not going to be hiring bankers anymore, but more AI engineers. So there is a repricing of the labor market more than just replacing people. We're seeing it in my own company with our own Fortune 500s, agentic roles, and all of that is just rewiring the structure of people.
Let's talk about rewiring college, and how do we deal with this? So I saw something I think is really phenomenal, and I think what's happened is sort of this woke era in college is over. Professors at the University of California STEM, they would like standardized tests back. And of course, they were at one point considered racist, that you couldn't have any sort of, that you couldn't have any sort of diversity with these kind of tests. But now it's leading to a lot of mediocrity, and they're saying that these kids are not going to graduate. So what do you think?
I mean, exactly. I think we made the mistake of putting in the same sentence excellence and equity as if they were opposing, forces. You need standards of excellence to be able to rise as a society and have equal access to opportunities to success for all. It's not just eliminating the standard, it's more about elevating the ways you can get to a higher standard for all. And that's very different.
I want to have a little fun here, but also businessy, because you're a stylish person.
Thank you.
So, we base the stock market is usually based on, you could say, fundamental, technical, behavioral analysis, but there's this new thing I'm calling aesthetic analysis. Last week, Warby Parker debuted this picture here with those glasses, and people saw it and said, what? The stock went from 30 to 23.
Yes.
Not to be outdone, Ferrari said, hold my beer, okay? Because we're gonna sell a car for 600 grand. That looks like a car you could buy now for 30 grand. So I guess the question is, what is it? Why are these companies making so many mistakes, whether it's product design, whether it's logo design? What's going on? Because you consult big businesses.
Absolutely. This is what we do. The core of branding and marketing continues to be, no matter the technological advances of the time, people buy what they love, lifestyle, what they identify with. And if Ferrari stands for high-end luxury performance, anything that looks against that is not going to work. Same thing with Warby Parker. We're supposed to be accessible, fashionable, glasses, not all of a sudden a tech play.
Well, I'm glad I could buy a Leaf and act like it's a Ferrari. So you deal with a lot of young folks, and so our stock market's at an all-time high. Yes. And yet Gen Z is saying they're taking many retirements, they're just beaten down, the rat race is too much. The Korean stock market's at an all-time high. Breaking news, their birth rate rises at the fastest pace on record. So they're rocking and rolling, they're having babies, they're having fun. What's up with our young people? They're like, I gotta crawl under a rock. Don't they feel the excitement?
Maybe we need to start to have a foreign exchange program with them. But definitely there is an issue with not believing in the system. Because here's the thing, young people right now could be superhumans with the tools they have in their pocket, Charles. But they can either scroll their way through life or realize that there is still an opportunity in this country to create and become anything you dream to be.
Yeah. 20 seconds.
Yes.
The enhancement games over the weekend came. Everyone's on steroids. But they had a few people who weren't. And people who weren't on steroids actually winning all the medals. So I didn't realize it was publicly traded. The stock yesterday opened down 60%.
Yeah.
I guess steroids lost again.
They did, and it's a flawed financial model. I actually am a partner and an advisor to a sports health tech company in Tower Capital, and what we are looking at is generational health. What technologies actually improve the longevity and the performance in people, not just the PR stunt of let me outperform the Olympians by cheating my way through it, and by the way, putting my health at risk. So the whole thing was flawed to begin with, in my mind.
Great stuff, Lili.
Thank you so much.